Well, good afternoon. This is Dave Jones with Storm Center Communications and GeoCollaborate. This is a quick tropical update for the Fleet Response Working Group and the Sensitive Information Sharing Environment. We do have tropical activity out there. Hurricane Larry continues to rotate out there as a major hurricane. It's really sticking out there like a sore thumb, isn't it? Look at that thing. It's very impressive on satellite imagery. It doesn't look like it's going to directly impact any land, which is very fortunate. But it is going to come close to Bermuda. I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. But I just want to say a few words about Larry because not only is it a major hurricane with winds of 120 miles per hour, it has some spectacular meteorological things going on within that center. I'm going to take you just a little bit closer here and show you Larry. We're going to dive right into what's called the mesoscale that the NOAA GOES satellite is has with it, and that means it's taking an image every hour. Matter of fact, the Hurricane Hunter aircraft were flying through Larry today, and I think they're going to have some spectacular images that come from that mission. I'll probably show those to you tomorrow when I do the tropical update. But take a look at this and what you can see spinning around the eye. These are called meso, which means small, vortices or vortexes. These mesovortexes are rotating around. As a matter of fact, I can get in here a little bit closer so we can just see these things rotating around. Many researchers feel as though these mesovortices rotating around the eye in a major hurricane result in even more damage when a storm is making landfall. So there's some really good research data that's being collected by the Hurricane Hunter aircraft and also from the satellite records and all that sort of stuff during the day today. But look at these. There's one, two, three, four, five, six, maybe six or seven mesovortices rotating around this. And this eye is extremely wide. The Hurricane Center says 60 nautical miles wide this eye is. And so that also means that these thunderstorms around the eye are quite intense. As a matter of fact, from the surface here, that blue that you see, that's the ocean. That's the Atlantic Ocean. You can see through there. And then it goes up this distinct eye wall. It's what's called a classic stadium eye wall, where you look up and you look around and it looks just like you're in a stadium, but all the way encircled by thunderstorms. That these thunderstorms reach 10 miles up into the atmosphere. 10 miles. That is just incredible. So as this rotates around, it's going to continue to feed on the warm Atlantic Ocean. And I'm going to show you here, GeoCollaborate, and show you the impacts that Larry is going to have on the United States. It's not going to strike directly into the United States. You can see where the official Hurricane Center forecast tracks Larry up towards Bermuda. Here's Bermuda, right where the tip of the arrow is. So it's going to come very, very close, and we'll have a lot of wave action as Larry passes by. But as it gets into the cooler Atlantic waters, it will start to pretty rapidly weaken in those cooler temperatures. But this has been a very, very impressive storm. Getting its start, look at this, from the African coastline. It had a very impressive spin before it even came off of land, and then rapidly developed into a tropical storm and then into a hurricane and now a major hurricane as it's spinning in the central Atlantic Ocean. Hopefully the mariners, all the shipping channels have diverted from where this storm is, because it would not be pleasant to be within 800 or 900 miles of this storm. The wave action is pretty large. And that's what's going to happen with Larry. It's going to spin off a lot of wells in the ocean. Remember, a hurricane feeds off of that tropical moisture, that sea surface, warm temperatures that are at 80 degrees or above, and it drives wind energy, and those winds drive swells. Those swells emanate out from the hurricane. So they're impacting the Lesser Antilles today and will be for the next several days. Also, Puerto Rico will be impacted by these waves. I wouldn't be surprised if you see on the news or on Twitter, social media, some very large waves hitting northern parts of Puerto Rico, and then the Bahamas, and then the United States. The East Coast will experience these large swells starting probably Tuesday night into Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So most of next week, it's going to be very dangerous to swim in the Atlantic Ocean on the east coast of the United States because of these very large swells that are going to be generated from Hurricane Larry because the storm is so large. That also means that it's going to generate large rip currents, strong rip currents. So please listen very closely to the lifeguards when they put up those red flags that say beach closed today or the ocean is closed. It's safe to stay on the beach, obviously, but we'll be monitoring the process of Larry and any other further impacts, and we'll be monitoring the waves as well. As a matter of fact, within GeoCollaborate here, we have a measurement tool, and so I'm going to go and do a little bit of a measurement here. So from the Outer Banks of North Carolina, the center of Larry is about 1,668 miles away. 1,668 miles away. And so from, let's say, from Puerto Rico, we can measure that as well. So this is Puerto Rico, and we can measure to the center of Larry here, and that is 905 miles. There's 905-mile distance there. So the waves are already impacting likely Puerto Rico as these waves traverse across the Atlantic. So it's pretty impressive what's going on with Hurricane Larry, and fortunately won't be impacting directly. At least right now, it's anticipated that it will not impact land directly. Let me move over to this other system that we're watching, and I can go over to the wider version here of the satellite here, where you can see Larry spinning. I'm going to move this over here down to the Caribbean and also into the Gulf of Mexico. There's an area of disturbed weather, and you can see these thunderstorms. They're just kind of show no real organization currently. And so the models are picking up on this and saying, you know what, this cluster of thunderstorms is likely going to drift to the north and potentially have some sort of tropical development associated with it. At the very least, there's going to be an area of heavy rain that moves somewhere in from, let's say, southeast Louisiana over to northern Florida. And this is what the Hurricane Center is monitoring as well. So from a GeoCollaborate perspective, I'll zoom right down here into this potential tropical development area. Let me back out. So you can see the X here where those thunderstorms are located. The Hurricane Center expects that to drift to the north and perhaps anywhere in this yellow area. It's kind of stretched out because there's a front nearby and it could stretch out into elongated pattern. That there could be some tropical development. Doesn't mean a tropical storm, doesn't mean a hurricane. It just means that they're watching this area for some potential 30% chance over the next 5 days of tropical development happening. Of course, we want to keep everyone within the Gulf Coast area informed of this because we know how sensitive everybody is whenever potential tropical activity in the Gulf of Mexico. Don't have to explain why all of this impacting there over the last many, many years. So that's what the Hurricane Center is watching. They're the two major tropical pieces of tropical activity. We have this one potentially in the Gulf, and we have Hurricane Larry that's going to stay away from the United States, but generate very large swell. So that's it for the tropical update on this Labor Day, September 6, 2021. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back tomorrow with another update. Please enjoy your Labor Day, be safe, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.